had 6 fish. There were 7 dogs over there," Bill said. "I saw one run off after it got the fish." "Then you're thinking it was—" Henry's sentence was cut short by another cry in the darkness. They both sat perfectly still as they listened. Their sled dogs started to panic as the tiny camp was surrounded by howls. Bill threw more wood on the fire. "So you think it was a wolf from that pack?" Henry pointed out in the darkness. "He'd have to be pretty tame to get in that close," Henry added. Bill shook his head. "Didn't look like a wolf to me. Seemed more like a dog." "A dog," Henry said. "What's a dog doing out here?" Bill started to reply, but he stopped. He thought he saw something moving just past the light of the fire. He nudged Henry. They looked into the darkness and saw eyes, several pairs of eyes staring back at them. The red dog took the lead of the wild pack. She had spent many hours near campfires and knew the feeling of warmth and comfort a fire provided. The flames, however, frightened the wolves. In the wild, fire meant danger. It was something to avoid. But they were starving, so they took the red dog's lead and tried to move in closer. "Check for bullets, Bill," Henry said. "How many do we have left?" "3," Bill replied. "We've only got 3 bullets left." Without saying another word, both men knew they were in trouble. They tried to stay awake to keep watch, but they were too tired. Also, they knew that the next day would be just as difficult. They would need a great deal of energy to travel over the ice. They bundled into their sleeping bags and fell asleep. The 2 men felt confident that the campfire would keep the wolves away. Chapter 2. An Accident. Bill woke up with the first light of dawn. After a quick inspection of his dogs, he nudged Henry awake. Henry could see immediately that his friend was upset. "What's wrong now?" he asked. "All right," Bill said. "How many dogs did you say we had?" 6. "Wrong," Bill said. 7 again?" Henry asked. "No, 5. One's gone." "Did the wolves get him?" Henry felt very worried. "I guess so," Bill shrugged. Henry jumped up to look. Bill was right. One of their dogs was gone. Now they had only 5 dogs to make it across the snow and ice. The 2 men quickly repacked their sled and set off with the dogs. Once again they barely spoke, saving their energy for the hard work. They made good time despite the bumpy ground. The sled almost turned over several times, but Henry and Bill refused to stop. They did not want to spend another night in the wild. But they were still far from the next village when disaster struck. Rattling over ice and snow, the sled tipped and broke one of its runners. Henry and Bill couldn't repair it without the proper tools. Their only choice was to head out on foot. It was impossible to carry or drag all of their supplies, so they bundled up everything they couldn't carry and placed them in a high tree. Perhaps they would be able to come back for them later, or someone else could use them. Men often left stores of supplies and food to pick up on their return journey. Henry wrote a note saying, "Take what you need. We left what we couldn't carry." He stuck it inside the top flap of their bundle. Taking hold of their remaining dogs, Henry and Bill continued down the frozen waterway. One of the dogs, Spanker, kept trying to pull away, but Bill held on tightly. "Something's drawing him out," he said. Bill scanned the land around them. There was not much daylight left. He was not looking forward to another night huddled around the fire. He stopped suddenly. "Henry," he whispered, "look over there." Following at a distance behind them was the red dog. She stopped when they did, waiting to see what would happen next. "She looks awful red for a wolf," Henry said, "and she's pretty big." "Looks more dog than wolf, I'd say," Bill replied. And Bill was right. Although he did not want to get too close, he knew it was the same strange dog from the fire. She did not seem to be nervous around them. Bill wondered if she had ever lived with humans.